Hello, ladies. I am on the go. I wish I could get on camera and speak with you, but I talked about this on my podcast, and as promised, I wanted to put this on my YouTube. So, because I am a rambler, or I like to talk, I'm going to make sure I can get this to be within 10 minutes. This is the living single paradigm. And many of you know uh, Living Single, the song. It's a 90s kind of world. I'm glad I got my girl. Um, and a lot of you are going to be like the women on that TV show. You're going to be living single. You are going to be, as like the song says, tight like glue and living single, literally. So if you do want to be feminine, if you want a man, then listen up. I have some things to say. Okay, so living single has, um, and a lot of you can identify with some of these women. Maybe other TV shows, you may be able to identify with other women more. But just on this show alone, if you have a degree and you are this independent woman who has her high earning position at work, you can probably identify with Maxine. Maxine, she's the attorney. Maxine Shaw, attorney at law. Maybe you have your own business and you're an entrepreneur, or you're the homegirl next door. So then maybe you can identify with Khadijah James, which was played by Queen Latifah. Maybe you are the woman who was always feminine and fashionable, and you can identify with Regime, and you were always looking for high value men. And you were always dating high value men. The concern here is the issue is you can say all day long you looked good, you because she could cook as well. She dated men who actually looked good, tall, handsome, all of those things. And did she have a ring on her finger with any of them? No, it wasn't until she dated Heavy D, where he was not the look she was going for, but he changed her mindset, her character. She became this woman who saw men in a different way other than just for their wallet. Then she was able to get Blair Underwood, because he was also a man of substance. If you watch the show, he wasn't always high earning and things like that. So that's what I'm saying about beautiful women. You're going to have to be more than just your looks. You're going to have the femininity on the inside to go with it, because you're listening, because there's so many channels about femininity and they're talking about um, the outward appearance, not the inward appearance. There are some that are speaking about your mindset being feminine with how you speak, how you act, and everything, not just how you dress. There's women that speak about confidence and self-esteem and being classy, being ladylike, and changing your mindset. There's women that speak about that. Listen to those channels, because that's the true femininity. Because so many of you women are beautiful, and the minute you open your mouth, yeah. Yeah. The minute you open your mouth. Okay. So, with that being said, we have these degreed women, which is why a lot of men are fussing about degreed women, because they have the attitude, the rolling of the neck, the snap of the fingers. And this is not relegated to black women, because white women do it too. Hispanic women do it too. Asian women do it too. You know it. I know it. We're women. Women do it. Sometimes we have the ability to emasculate a man with our tongue, especially if we don't think they look good. We can say the wrong thing to them to tick them off. Or we like to be combative, right? Yeah. Black men not the only one complaining. Other men are complaining. They are. You can say all day long you'll go to a different race. I've seen men with different races, and they have the same complaints. I can tell you, I see it, I know it. They complain. And these are men who make money. A lot of you guys want that toxic relationship where you're fighting like cats and dogs. And it's not just a baby boy type relationships, because they're in other relationships. When you watch that show King of Queens, they fought like cats and dogs. And you know what? She emasculated him, Carrie emasculated Doug. And although he's this guy that didn't want more out of life, it's going to be a lot of women like her that, whether he's, because you know me about respect, it shouldn't matter what kind of money they have. um, People deserve respect, and if you don't respect them, why are you with them? Why are you friends with them? Why are you dating them? Why are you around people you do not say that you respect? So, you talk to men any kind of way, I think you should change that, because part of being feminine is how you speak to people, not just to your man, but to people in general. And if you already have a nasty disposition, it's going to be hard to change that. It's like going on a job. You can be great for the first 3 months. What happens after that probation period? So, if you know Kyle Barker, he was a high earning man. He was this guy that was in touch with his what's that? In touch with his masculinity and with his community. And typically, that kind of man is not going to be with Maxine. She was combative. She butt heads a lot. She was basically in competition with him. You know, so many of us love being the high earning woman with a degree, but man, you cannot be this person and still get that type of man. It just won't happen. You just have to understand that these educated men, these high earning, high value men, do want more than a pretty face. They want someone who is smart. They don't care about your money and your degree per se, but they like the fact that you are smart and that you can hold a wonderful conversation with them. But they don't want to be in a fight with you all the time. They don't want to be in competition and always be in argument with you. Kyle didn't like that. If you saw, he was always frustrated because he wasn't, he basically wanted someone more feminine, someone who opened up their heart. So many of you women have been hurt in some way, and you're holding all of that anger. A lot of that attitude that she had, that holding in and not showing emotion, was from her mom. If you watch the show, her mom didn't show emotion and show her love, so she wasn't that emotional, as most women are. She didn't show her feelings. She was closed up. She had a wall built up. And when you do that, it hides your femininity, that soft side of you. And some of us, we have to let go of what our parents did, what the person did in our life, and get through that, so we can be the best person we can be. Break those chains that these people have placed on you through the hurt they put you through. Go through therapy, go through life coaching, do something, talk about it, get through the root cause of your problem. Now, then you have Khadijah. She was the homegirl next door. She also played in a movie called Just Right, right? Queen Latifah. Men like the homegirl next door type attitude, not the look she had, because the look she had is the look like you're the homegirl next door that likes the other homegirl next door. But she dressed boyish, like tomboyish. When you get a certain age, you guys, those men that you say you want, high value men, want a woman who dressed like Regine. They want the feminine look, but they don't mind the girl who they feel that they can talk to and be in conversation with. They don't mind that. So that's TV. that she ends up with this guy, but it typically won't work out. You know, Maxine, Kyle wouldn't actually be together. We want, when we watch that show, for them to be together, but changes will have to be made. These men have standards. My husband, when we were dating, had standards. So when you roll that neck, they're going to tell you no. And a lot of times, pretty women get the privilege of getting more opportunities, because with women who are not typically pretty, the guy will drop you like a bad habit, and you won't get those opportunities to get it right again. And don't deny it, because we do it to men. Think about Ashanti in the movie, in the video that she did for the movie, for the song Foolish. Terrence Howard had money on that show. He looked good, right? You're foolish because you're blinded by his looks and his money, so you give more opportunities. Let him be ugly or not have money. You won't give those opportunities. You'll drop him like a bad habit. And that's what men typically do for women they're tired of. That she's like, she don't even look that good anyway. I ain't got to take all that. So typically when you're pretty, they give you more opportunities to get it right. And at some point, as you get older, those opportunities go away, because it's going to be, especially if you've had children, because it's going to be hard to get that weight off after you have children. And I'm raising my hand. It's hard to get the weight off after you have children. You'll do it. It may take a while. And I'm married. So imagine you're not married trying to get that weight off. Okay? If you're not, if you wear lots and lots of makeup, men now are wanting women who are natural. You know, men are wanting women who are agreeable. And I'm not saying you have to agree with everything they do, because then that goes with standards. If they're not following a standard, if there's a deal breaker, then you move on. But a lot of us are so busy looking at men and their flaws and what they're not doing right and what deals that they're breaking and what standards they're not meeting. You're so busy looking at him that you're not looking at yourself. What deal breakers are you breaking? What standards are you not meeting for him? Because high value men have standards. So that neck rolling, I got a degree, I have money, is not on his list for you. Are you of substance? Are you feminine? Are you this? Are you that? Are you traditional? Because typically high value men typically like traditional women. This, you're mad at me. Why? I didn't make these rules. I can't change them. And you can go and change your man like Gabrielle changed Dwayne Wade. Go ahead. Okay, and in law they have these things called generally, and then they have what the rule is generally, and then there's exceptions to the rules. And then whenever you take the bar, they're always testing the exceptions, and you forget because there's so many exceptions. Not so many, but there's exceptions, and these exceptions, come up. They test them, but just like reality, and just like in reality and life, the exception is few, far in between. So in relationships, we test generally. Generally, these men like this. You can try to be the exception to the rule all you want. But generally, men like this type of woman. They like the, okay. Change the subject really quick, really quick. Not living single, but my favorite show is A Different World. In A Different World, she was, Whitley Gilbert was beautiful, right? She's beautiful. But as she dated Dwayne Wayne, and you can say all day long he's not all of that in looks, but he had that money. He had that money, and y'all will be flocking to it. And he was a high earner. He's what you would consider high value. I think he was. He was a man of substance. And what he told Whitley, he gave her chances, right? Because she looked good. But at some point, what did he say? He checked her with her attitude. And when she was telling him what he's gonna do and what he needs to do, he said, "Hey, If you ever do da 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 da, I would drop you like a bad habit. I, you know, it happens. My husband had to tell me that, and so many of you women do not want to hear that. And we women are at the point where it's not enough to just look good. It's not enough to just dress nice. Is you have to have the feminine energy. If you don't get it right, you will be like these women in Living Single. And of course, they had a nice ending for some of us to feel good about ourselves, but in reality, that may not have played out the way it did. And you will be living single, hanging with your girls all day long and not with a man. You won't be getting that Kyle Barker, right? So if Kyle Barker's not your type of guy, then switch it for Michael B. Jordan. If you're older, Denzel, Blair Underwood. Uh, Um, my Morris Chestnut. My husband's like, why you keep naming these older men? I'm like, because no matter how old they get, they still look good. They're still suave. They're still charismatic. This is what most women like. Then don't go comparing your man to them. I don't compare my husband to them, but I'm saying these are the men that people in society see, so I'm naming these men. These are men who look good. They're suave. Come on. They have swag. No matter how older they get, they're just going to be that, you know? Okay. So I'm out. I said I wasn't going to spend so much time. I just wanted to mention that to you. Um, you know, look at these women from Living Single, learn from it and grow. All right. Bye, ladies.